Good morning, softball America. It is March 2nd. March is here. We're very excited to have all of you watching. We've got a big show coming up. Gray Robertson, Tara Henry. We are presented by our friends at GoRout, the leaders in coach-to-player communication, built by coaches for coaches. GoRout Diamond ensures that every pitch and play call you send is delivered clearly all season long. Visit www.gorout.com/shop/softball-dash, whatever you want to call it, America, and use discount code SA2026 to save $275 on your GoRout system today. Many thanks to our friends at GoRout for sponsoring the show. We are happy to be back, happy to be with you. The chat is open. Our mics are open. It's Gray Robertson and Tara Henry. Partner, we are a month into the season. We have gathered evidence. We are still waiting on the NCAA to release the official RPI. TikTok guys, baseball came out 2 hours ago. How are you, Tara?
Good morning. I'm good. I just want to let you all know we put in the link in the chat. So if you're over on YouTube, make sure you check out the link in there for any questions you have about GoRout. You can talk to them directly. And if not, you can ask Gray and myself, and then we'll probably just direct you back to them as well. But no, good morning. I'm good. I can't wait to talk about this weekend. And, you know, we had some conference play get started, and we'll have a guest on here that I was able to actually watch the Georgia Tech Notre Dame game on Sunday. First time Tech has swept Notre Dame. And so we'll be able to talk to Coach Aileen Morales. But yeah, what a weekend. And I mean, we can get right into it. I know we've got a few guests coming on to it, but with Gray, what were your thoughts from the weekend?
Well, I will say real quick, Kenny Gajewski, Aileen Morales, they are joining the show. And subscribe, et cetera. Like, share, comment, all that jazz. I see some questions, and those will be answered Wednesday on the Q&A show. So we might get to a few of them, but we'll see. Mainly questions will be directed about the top 25 and all the games this weekend to the Q&A show. Yeah, Tara, fun weekend of softball. I mean, it was a lot. It was cool to sit and watch a Game 3 rubber match last night on the ACC network, watch Louisville and Stanford. That was a really interesting series that we'll talk about later. You know, we've got pitcher rankings coming out. I'll be honest, though, it was kind of probably the most chill weekend that we've had this year. You look at the upset tracker, there were only 10, and that is nothing compared to the 17, 18, 19 that we got the first 3 weeks. So a lot of teams kind of took care of business this weekend for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're also getting ready with just that weird week in between conference play started the ACC, SEC starts this weekend. I think there's that week where teams need a break, although, you know, Virginia playing 6 games wasn't quite a break for the Hoos. But I think we're to that point of the season where everyone's ready to get into conference play. There were a few upsets across the country, like you said, but not as many that we're used to. But I also think that was partly because of scheduling wise. I think everybody just gets into like, okay, we're ready for conference play. Let's have a few games and then get after it. But I don't know. What did you see, Gray? I know you were calling games all weekend with Nicole. I hope you guys were able to watch and listen and be a part of it. And I see that our very good friend and colleague Brady Vernon is in the chat. So everybody say hi to Brady. And again, let us know where you're tuning in from. I think we saw it at the top of the show, but please let us know where you're tuning in from. Would love to know where you all are.
Yeah, we'll flash some comments in a moment. I will say, Nicole and I were a little gassed because we called 6 games in 3 days, and which is nothing compared to her Mary Nutter schedule, but these days felt really long and intense in Tuscaloosa, and it was a lot of fun. Then last night, I had the bright idea to go play pickleball, and I'm so sore right now. I said, Nicole, I need to run around a little bit. And she said, okay, fine. And she's been running marathons, so she was good to go. And after about 20 minutes, I was breathing deeply and pretty gassed. So yeah, but we had a great time. And I hope all of you were able to enjoy a little bit of a dirt reunion on the SEC Network Plus here this weekend. We got a couple people tuning in. We'll flash some messages. A lot of people tuning in, but a couple people in the comments. Marty Ketchum, good morning. G&T from Oklahoma, the land of flying yellow objects. Yes, there was a lot of that this weekend. We can maybe talk about it a little bit later. I don't know if that necessarily changes my opinion on Oklahoma, although we will see what the news is regarding Nelly McEnroe Marinas, because there was a scary collision on the defensive side at one point yesterday. In fact, kind of a tough weekend all the way around for injuries to key players in the SEC.
Yeah, and you hate to see that, and you hope our thoughts and prayers are with her. And I know that we're going to run some tests and a collision with Kendall Wells there, and hopefully everybody's okay there. You hate to see that.
Yeah. Nick Tarina is up in the chat. Hello, kiddos. Hi, Nick. We've got Julie Howard. Good morning, everyone. Roach is here. Good morning, all. Annie Pride. Good morning from warm and sunny South Alabama. Really good weekend of weather, minus, unfortunately, the Nebraska-Oklahoma State of it all, with Game 3 getting canceled due to travel and potential inclement weather. That was unfortunate, but everybody else, I don't know. We were kind of rocking here in the Southeast. Jason, hello, Jason. Good morning from an allergy and pollen-ridden Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's that time of year too, I guess. Pollen. Adam, good morning from Birmingham. I was just there taking Nicole to the airport. Idaho, baby, morning from Los Angeles.
Amazing. Sunny. I think it's been hot out there. At least that's what the reports are from Frank and Mary out on the West Coast. It's been
shocks me.
Yeah.
Let's see. Gosh, a lot of y'all really.
I know. Minneapolis.
Yeah. Rebecca, good morning from Texas.
Good morning.
We've got Amber from Smyrna, Tennessee. Or I should say, yeah, from Smyrna, up from Dora. Hi from Florida. Jason in the chat, which I love. And as I'm catching up, ooh, look at this. Brandon, our buddy Brandon, longtime listener. I'm watching the show today wearing my new Softball America hat.
Oh my gosh, please put a photo up of it. Let us see it. Which one did you get, Brandon? Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for this. I need to get my Softball America mug out. I don't know why I'm not using my Softball America mug.
I'm drinking from the Stranger Things mug because it's big. And
I've got a Softball America mug for you.
Thank you. Is it big? I needed a lot of coffee today.
It's so cute. I mean, you know. Oh, we'll have it next week, everybody. Oh my goodness. All right.
Let's see. There were a couple. I saw Addison DeRoche here. Hi. Former guest of the show, watching from Portland, Maine.
Awesome. She was down in Clearwater. She talked to Grace.
I love that. Hi, Addison. Good to see you. Hi, everybody. We're glad that you're all here. Thank you for hopping in the chat. What you got? Is the RPI up?
No.
Did it happen?
No, the RPI is not up.
Oh, well.
Unless somebody, I mean, if you guys could keep us updated, obviously we're on the show. Hopefully Brady will message us or send us a message if the RPI does go up. It's so weird to me, Gray, that baseball starts a week after us and theirs is up before ours. It's also so weird to me that the NCAA won't do interviews with Softball America, but that's for another time.
Tara's getting spicy. Speaking of spicy, let's talk about UCLA and Florida. This was a game that we were all anticipating this weekend, the real first major test for Florida. I think people are going to be a little surprised about the Gator strength of schedule when that metric officially comes out. But this was obviously the biggest thing that they have faced so far this year. UCLA has had well-documented issues with pitching depth here this year, but the offense has not been a problem. Bruins won at 15-12, but there were lots of runs left on the table. I believe it finished up 27 runners left on base. Florida had the tying run at the plate in the seventh with Jocelyn Erickson in the box. This was a game where Keegan Rothrock and Taylor Tinsley started. They certainly were not pitching the entire time, and we just saw the offenses really, really rake. Tara, what do you think of that final score? I know it was a game that we couldn't watch because it wasn't streamed, but we've talked to the people who were there and who've seen it, and certainly there's a lot to glean even from just how things broke down from start to finish.
Yeah, I'm just pulling up the box score right now. It is tough because obviously we didn't get to watch it, and I was getting messages yelling at me like I could make it happen that we watched the game. But I think it was 2 years ago. I flew out to the Judy Garmin to watch that game that they had played each other there, and I'm not surprised, Gray. I think you and I both picked UCLA. I just think in terms of depth on offense, they just have so many weapons. Not that Florida doesn't, but I'm not surprised. But Natalie Cable, I mean, let me tell you, Gray, I think this is really important for the Bruins. Like, they're going to have to learn how to score a ton of runs. But for me, Natalie Cable coming in and being able to pick up 3 innings, Tinsley threw 4 on the day, but Natalie Cable getting the win. They're really going to have to rely on her to pick up some innings and can't rely on Taylor Tinsley. But Jordan Woolery, Megan Grant, Brady sent me the craziest stat, and I think he's going to probably put it in the chat, hopefully, if he's listening, about Megan Grant. It's what she's doing right now, Gray, is crazy. Let me get to it because I want to make sure I have the.
Is it the fact that she's walked 80 times already? Is that part of it?
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of messages from Brady's this morning, but he did send it today. So hopefully, I know you're on here. Oh, her OPS is 2343. That's her OPS. And 45 at bats. 30 walks. She has hit a homer in every 3 at bats. She's hit a home run in every third at bat is a home run.
That seems good. She's got to be.
Sure I got it right.
She's got to be Player of the Year front runner, right? At this point, 1 month in, she's in the lead.
Yes, I mean, Kendall Wells is doing some incredible things at Oklahoma as a freshman. But this, in terms of what Megan Grant is doing at UCLA, I mean, I wish we could have seen it, right? But Vinny, shout out to Vinny for recording some videos for us from the press box. I mean, that's all we're getting. But, I've just been really impressed with that offense. There you go. There's Brady. Put it up there.
Here we go. She has 45 at-bats, 16 home runs, and 30 walks. .726 OBP. Thank you, Grant Gray.
Thank you, guys. Isn't that wild? So, but again, I know everyone's talking about Florida's strength of schedule. I think this is by design. I think Coach Walton does this in pre-conference play, and then when they get into the SEC, that RPI will jump as soon as they start playing games in the SEC. So I wouldn't necessarily count the Florida Gators out. I think this is just how it goes with Tim Walton. But that's a slugfest, Gray. And then they're in it. They're in it to the end. So,
yeah.
I mean, I know Brady wants Oklahoma, UCLA, but, Florida's right up there with it.
And then this was the other big story. Grant in the chat is asking about Ava Brown. This happened the day before on Thursday night. A play where she was just stretching at first to make a grab and had to be taken off the field reportedly with an air cast. That, again, is what was relayed from California. And as far as I know, I have not heard any official updates. There have been rumors, which I will not report. But it doesn't sound like it's good news, just overall vibe wise, especially the silence piece from Florida. But yeah, we'll wait and see what officially this means for Ava Brown. Should she be out though for a considerable amount of time, that's massive. You lose your number 2 pitcher, you lose a steady bat in the lineup. The offense is killer right now. Like, I'm not super concerned about the offensive drop off, but this does put a lot of pressure, not just on Keegan Rothrock, but also on the rest of that pitching staff. Because trust me, Keegan's not going to throw every inning of conference play. Oxley and Leah Stevens are going to have to throw some too. And they're going to have to step up if Ava Brown is missing any time at all.
Absolutely. And again, it's early in the season, although I think we're a third of the way done of the season. Is that true? I heard that they're like a third of the way ish.
Yeah.
Almost.
Like somewhere between a third and a fourth, like 30%.
So it is still early in the season. But again, if we're talking about this towards the end of conference play, that's going to be a huge issue. I can't wait for the RPI to come out. So if it drops, please let us know. Ooh, I like that, Brady. Brady and I have been talking about this. So we think that Caroline Stanton's going to come out of that red shirt.
All right. Well, let me ask you this question. I think there are 2 separate thoughts here. Will she and should she? What do you think?
Will she? Will she?
Let's say I think the only way the answer is yes is if Ava Brown is out for the year and it's not cooking with the other pitchers and they feel the need to. But that's my take. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know if they're going to do it. They should probably do it now. I just, you want an athlete to come in there and they're redshirting to get used to the system. And maybe this was the plan if somebody did get hurt to be able to bring her in. But I would think they're going to save her red shirt and just bring her in next year. That's my gut. I could be completely wrong, but I don't know that that's the right answer. But I think again, like you're right, Gray. Well, as we have more on injury reports, which yes, we would all love injury reports. We petition, I feel like every day for them. Once we have more on Ava Brown's injury, we'll have a better idea. I don't know. We could ask Caroline. Maybe we could ask her.
Here she is. Just kidding. No, I don't think she will or should. But
me neither.
We'll see. Again, things change all the time. I got to be honest. I'm kind of holding on the Nebraska-Oklahoma State conversation because Kenny Gajewski will be joining the show in a little bit, but I also kind of really want to talk about Nebraska-Oklahoma State. Can we just get into that real quick?
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. Killer 2 games. Just awesome. 2-1 and 11. I'm watching it on my way to my sister's birthday dinner. I've got it like on the Bluetooth over the thing. And then I'm watching it at the restaurant. Sorry, Mary Frances. And then game 2 the next day, Nebraska wins it 4-3. Another knockdown drag out battle. Like 2 just really, really, really solid, fun softball games that were very tight. And you had all the elements. Great defense, phenomenal pitching, and clutch hitting in the big moments.
Yeah, I mean, Gray, I was really impressed with Ruby Malin, and I think we've seen Ruby go up and down throughout the start of the season, and I was really impressed with Ruby in that first game. These games, to me, I know that we were getting some flack for leaving Oklahoma State in the rankings, I think, a couple weeks ago, and for me, these 2 games and how close they were and how well they were played, and like you said, all aspects, defense, hitting, pitching, where it was just, for me, it was a joy to watch those games. And I was very sad that we weren't going to get the rubber match game on Sunday due to weather. But I think it was a good weekend for both of those squads. And I'm continually impressed with Alexis Jensen in the circle and her paired with Jordy Ball and Jordy to come on in after Alexis is able to start. And then Jordy comes in to get the save. I really like that. I think Rhonda Ravel's scheduling and how she's challenged her squad early, how she's managed the lineup has been something that I've noticed that I just think they're in a really good spot. And then we're going to talk to Coach Kenny Gajewski. I think that's the same thing for the Cowgirls. And I know they did things different in the fall, and you're starting to see a lot of those things pay off now. You're not going to get them right away. And sometimes that's when you get upset with the game because you're not getting that payback right away. But I think you're starting to see the fruits of their labor as we're getting here into conference play.
Yeah, I thought Ruby Malin looked good. Riley Crandall continuing to stay solid is a very important development. Beyond that, the pitching depth is a little bit of a concern maybe for Oklahoma State, but honestly, it's a concern for everybody. So
yes,
there are like 3 teams that I'm not really worried about pitching depth right now. And that's how that goes. It was a major bummer that game 3 was canceled because that would have provided a lot of clarity, I think, on that pitching depth question, the adjustments piece. That would have been fun to see how both offenses adjusted to seeing most likely Ruby and Jordy again for an extended amount of time, or maybe other people. But, we got what we got. And if you're Oklahoma State, I think you feel really, really good about the way you're able to battle back in that Friday night game. The Audrey Schneidmiller clutch play in the 7th inning. Nebraska seemed to be in total control, and Oklahoma State wrestled control back in their favor. And then they were able to trade punches and keep the Huskers off the board as they kind of bided their time until Rosie Davis hit the walk-off. So it was just a really, really fun Thursday night softball game.
Yeah, and I just saw it in the chat, and obviously Tia Warsop with that weird pitch that Jordy fell out of her hand. No hesitation, just takes second base, gets in scoring position. Just that was a huge play and pivotal point of the inning. And so I was talking to Amanda Scarborough about it. Like, that is rare for a pitcher for the ball to slip out of her hand like that, and for it to happen at that moment in the 7th inning. I think it was just, again, I think you're seeing a different Cowgirls team than we saw a year ago.
100%. I like this comment from David Matheny. 14 likes for 159 viewers. Well, but hold on. This isn't good math. I agree, David. So give us a like. Do the thing.
Thanks, David. Oh, man. That's awesome.
Where else did you want to go? Do you want to talk a little Texas? Like Texas, Oklahoma, and Texas Tech all kind of had similar weekends to me where they just rolled through teams they're supposed to roll through.
We're way past Kenny's time, I think. Let me just make sure.
I don't know. I don't know where he is, but we're pivoting.
Noticed. Oh my goodness. Oh, you know what? It's because I said Central Time, so he's coming on at 1:15 Eastern.
Okay, great. I can stall. I don't have anything to do today.
But Aileen is going to jump on here soon. She should be on here in like a couple minutes. My bad, guys.
That's fine. So Kenny Gajewski will be here in 45 minutes, and we will still be on the air when that happens.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, you guys. Oh.
Was there anything else that you wanted to add before we talk to Aileen Morales in a moment about kind of a Texas Tech, Oklahoma domination this weekend?
Yes, I do. I had a list, but just hold on. Let me just tell Serge, and let me just see if Serge can get here. Sorry, guys.
I think Amber's right on the money. Monday is Mondaying. You know what? Some Mondays are better for certain people than others, I guess. I don't know. I'm just trying to find a way to bring in our guest who has arrived.
Oh, man.
And you got to see this team this weekend. I was there opening weekend, so we've gotten a lot of eyes on in person at Shelley Mewborn Field in Atlanta of the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Georgia Tech starting ACC play 3-0 with a sweep of Notre Dame, and their head coach, Aileen Morales, is joining us right now on Good Morning Softball America, presented by GoRout. And we'll bring her in. Hi, Coach. How are you?
Hey, what's up, guys?
It's good to see you. Tara's having a day. Go ahead, Tara.
Yeah, no, I'm having a Monday. It's all good, Coach.
Oh, no.
All good. No, first I want to start off. First sweep of Notre Dame in ACC history. I know I got to chat with you a little bit yesterday, but what did you say? What did you say to this group after that three gritty games this past weekend?
Yeah, I think was really proud of the way they competed all weekend, right? We had a midweek that we didn't maybe finish well in. And so I think the message, right, on Sunday is always finish. But I think obviously when you start out well on Friday and open up a series with a win, right, then Saturday the message is, win the series. And then when you get that secure, it's like, okay, do we have a chance to sweep, right? Anytime you can do that and you have the chance to, you've got to try to finish it. And so was just really proud of the grit. And I mean, a lot of different athletes and players showing up in different moments, which has been really exciting this year for us. And part of why we scheduled so tough in preseason was to prepare us for this. And so we faced some really good arms. Gray was here, whether we faced some good ones from Bama opening weekend and some other arms as well. But, and then being down in Gainesville the following weekend, we've seen great arms. And that was, strategic so that we could be prepared for what conference is in store, because there's great arms in the ACC. And there's really no games that you can take lightly. And
Coach, I remember opening weekend, we were talking in the car after the games and we're like, dadgum, like that Georgia Tech offense, I think is going to, you got us?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I've lost Coach. You got us now?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. After opening weekend, okay, perfect. We're talking in the car about the Georgia Tech offense, and you could tell that there was a lot of intent when they were stepping in the box, and the numbers have backed it up as the season has gone on. 1 month in, team batting average of 362. You've gotten consistency up and down the lineup. What is it that has kind of been a little bit different on that side? You had good numbers last year, but it really seems like it's proliferating consistently throughout everybody 1 through 9.
Well, I think experience is key, right? We were young last year, I think, from a lot of standpoints. And so, Grayson Tucker, she's a redshirt sophomore at this point. But, I just think experience at this level and a lot to do with just some of our younger players getting a ton of innings last year and growing in that standpoint, and then just being another year in our systems. I think Devin has done a phenomenal job with the offense and developing power and developing a great approach. And Megan Hill assists him with that. And so I really like the way that they tag team that. But obviously Devin is the lead. And so it's been just cool to see them evolve and the players develop more in year 2 in that system. And so I think the big question was could we have more depth? And so we went in the portal and got, some more speed and some more athletes, maybe that created some more versatility for us. And that was important. And then we felt like the power would continue to develop just in what we saw as the metrics improved from last year to this fall. And so, yeah, it's fun. I mean, heck, when you're scoring 8 runs, it's a little more enjoyable in the close ball games. You never feel like you're out of it. But I mean, I've been watching the entire country. It seems like everybody's scoring 8 runs a game. So, it's the offenses are insane this year. And, obviously somebody who's defensive minded as well, it's a challenge because that every team can put a big spot up on you very quickly. And so it's made for some fun ball games, but obviously it's a lot more enjoyable when you feel confident with your offense being able to keep you in any game.
And Coach, you mentioned Grayson Tucker. You've also got Alyssa Willer. She's got 6 home runs on the season. Holly Medina had the walk-off this past weekend. The freshman, Maddie Duffels, who I saw in the fall, I was really impressed with her. And I know that you love defense. You moved her over to second, and she's been a spark plug. And then Reese Hunter as well. I know we talked a little bit about the offense, but in terms of what you see holistically, those names, what have they been able to do in order to, like you said, score those 8 runs a game?
Yeah, I mean, Alyssa Willer is she's an elite processor. I mean, we saw it last fall, and we were very excited about her as a freshman, and then obviously waiting to see how it played out, and she had an amazing freshman year, and so she sets the table very nicely for us, and has been consistent throughout the course of the year. So it's really fun to see, right? And so if she gets on, right, we've got some tough batters behind her, but it's been a really cool evolution for her. And then Tuck, she swung it well her freshman year before she got hurt, and then was redshirted, and she's a tough out regardless. And so, I want her up with the game on the line. I would want Alyssa Willer up with the game on the line. I think those are bats that we want to get the most opportunities in RBI situations. And so it's just been cool to see them continue to develop. And I know I'm saying the same thing over, but they've just committed to a plan and understanding how opponents are going to attack them and then trying to counter that, which I think is right. Once you've had a really good year, that's the next evolution is how are people going to attack me and how can I counter that? And that's the game within the game, which we love, all the counter punches and all those things. Reese Hunter having a statistically best year she's had. I mean, I've known she's had power, but really just put something together this year. And part of it maybe being her senior year, just a little more freeing and a little more like, hey, what do I got to lose? Let me get my best swing off. But she's made a lot of adjustments in the fall, timing wise, which has opened up some things for her in her swing. I just love her behind the plate. I mean, people, some of the traditionalists hate her setups, and that's fine. You can hate it, but it works for her. And, she just has a great confidence behind the plate. And I've seen now, right, that confidence go into her offense as well. And it's just been really cool to see her blossoming. And then Holly Medina, we got her as a, transfer from Cal. We knew that she could play well. We knew she could hit power 4 arms, ACC arms, and she's kind of our jack of all trades. We've been putting her in the infield and the outfield. She's played a little bit everywhere. And, she hits the walk-off off her former teammate from travel ball, which was kind of a cool little plot twist. Glad to be on that side of it for us. But very versatile, can bunt, can swing away, can hit for some power. And so, that's the type of lineup we're trying to build. And yeah, Duff, the moments never seem too big for her, and it's been fun to see. And, the fall you got to see her, but yeah, it was more a matter of just kind of managing some stuff from a from an injury standpoint. And so we definitely have benefited from her staying healthy and being on the ball field this spring.
Well, and you've also benefited a good bit from adding Madeline Johnson from the portal in the circle. I remember, watching some film and going, all right, coming into opening weekend, I really like her stuff. And then watching her live, you could tell how jumpy the rise ball was, how much zip she had added even since her time at JMU. What have you liked about her progression leading into this season and kind of the way that she's developed into your go-to arm here this year to start the 2026 season?
Yeah, she wants to just win every game, right? Which is what you want from a pitcher. She wants, dominate when she goes out there. But Erin has done a phenomenal job with her. I think if you just were to look straight at her stats from her freshman year, maybe, nothing really overwhelming or sexy or anything like that. But if you saw her data and her numbers and her splits, it's like, okay, this will play. This will play at this level. And so, she trusts Erin completely. They work so well in the bullpen together. And, Erin does a phenomenal job with our staff, matchups and all those things. And but Madeline, just a calming presence. I think our defense plays the best behind her. She feeds the D. We've got chances to make plays, and so just really calming when she's out there. You feel like you're always in the ball game. The scores are going to be kept close, and she's got a devastating changeup when it's on. And so it's fun to watch her when she's out there competing, because tell her all the time, I'd love to play behind you. I would love to.
Well, last one for me, Coach. I know we talked yesterday about your strength of schedule and scheduling difficult early to prepare you to get into conference play. And obviously, we're still waiting on the RPI. It hasn't dropped yet. We're waiting any minute now. We know baseball is out, but for you, as you start looking at the next couple of weeks here and heading to play Clemson, what does that game plan look like? And knowing that you put yourself in a pretty darn good position heading into the second week of conference play.
Yeah, I think that we've got Troy tomorrow, and they're putting up some really good numbers, and they're doing a great job over there. So we can't overlook that at all. And, that's, where the focus is right now. And then obviously Clemson, they're super, they've done a phenomenal job. Coach Rittman just got his, 1,000th win. So, and 250 there at Clemson. So, they're a tough team, and they're a tough team to beat in Clemson. So, we've got to be prepared, and I think we're going to play the game that we need to play, right? We can't change who we are. But, I think we're excited about the opportunity to be on the road and play in an environment that's maybe not as comfortable to us, right? And to face some great arms and a great offense. And, I'm happy about where our program is. I'm happy about, the way we started out. And, this week's just another test. Kind of the message consistently to the team is we just got to get better every time we step on the field. And it's about us and us getting better. And yes, there's an opponent and they're going to try to beat us, obviously, but it's about us presenting the best version of ourselves every time we get on that field. And if we do that enough times, we're going to be in a great position to be successful and to be in the mix for postseason.
And Coach, we'll let you go after this, but we've talked a few times. We talked on a bus briefly in Vegas, going to a Softball America event.
Yeah, it's a great event. Good job, y'all.
Oh, thank you. I don't think I've ever asked you this publicly on the air, though.
Okay.
You're coaching your alma mater, and this has been a process throughout your tenure there to where now you're consistently a tournament team. You were in the tournament last year. Once the RPI comes out, you're going to be looking like you're in a great spot here 1 month into the season. What does it mean to you to be doing this at the place where you played ball, at the place that's your home, and to be the head coach leading this program?
I think there's a tremendous amount of pride, right? And also probably some unrealistic expectations, because I take it even harder, right? Because I'm so proud of this place. And, I'm very fortunate to be here and get to coach here. And I don't take that lightly. I think it's a responsibility to these players and to the alumni as well that I don't take lightly at all, right? If you're in our program, you're part of this family for life. And so very fortunate, very blessed. But yeah, I want it to be better. I want to be, I want us to get back to a super, right? I want us to accomplish all these things so that, the alumni can be proud as well. And so, I love the city. Tara is in Atlanta now, so she experiences the beauties of Atlanta, right? But I love being in the city. I love getting to coach at this level in a city that offers a lot of other things as well, right? Beyond just the college campus atmosphere. But yeah, I am very fortunate, and I love the mission of Georgia Tech. We've got a lot of engineers. We've got a lot of people who graduate, and softball isn't what they do for the rest of their lives, and that's a really cool value proposition as well. Like, they're going on and leading companies and doing some amazing things, and so that's something we want to corner the market on engineers if we can. The really good engineers that are great at softball, we want them all to come here to Atlanta, like come get a great engineering degree. Come help us win a lot and then go get paid a lot later.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Well, I know that you mentioned alumni. I know I said last question, but you did have alumni day on Saturday.
Yeah.
Can you give us one quick story or one quick tidbit from having all of the alumni back? I think it was like almost 45 alumni were there.
We had a ton of alumni. There were some funny stories. They were like, "Wow, you've updated the field a lot." One of our former catchers, Caitlin Coffey, was like, "Wow, y'all got rid of that cement that was over there in the bullpen. I loved catching drop balls on those days." She was revisiting that. She was like, "Yeah, I used to love catching the bullpens. We'd put the dummies in there, and then we'd work drop balls on the cement. So yeah, I was fighting for my life." I was like, "Well, yeah, we've updated some things, but that was a funny one." But yeah, we had a ton of alumni. What an awesome opportunity, right? To walk somebody off with all these, and then they've got their kids, and it's just, it reminds you, right? Like, people are here for maybe 4 years, right? And what impact we get to have on their lives. And then you see them now, great mothers, wives, right? And raising kids. And so it's really humbling and it's really fulfilling. It was so cool seeing like their kids run around on the grass afterwards. There's some other stories I were told, but they're not, probably not good for the air. But right, we all had a lot of blood, sweat, and tears given to this program, and so we relived some of those times as well. But the one thing I told the team is, when the alumni are here, we want them to leave, and we want them to be proud of what they saw. And the other thing is, we want them to be like, "Hey, could our team beat that team?" Right? And we want a little bit of like, "Hey, grit there." And so anytime they're proud of what we're putting on the field, we love to hear that. And so it was a great day and great setting for that.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. Georgia Tech head coach, Aileen Morales. Coach, best of luck the rest of the week, the rest of the season, and congratulations on a great start to ACC play. Thanks for hopping on.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all having me, and keep on doing what y'all do. I love the coverage for our sport.
For sure. Thanks, Coach. Good to see you.
Yep. Talk to y'all later.
That is the wonderful Aileen Morales joining us, Georgia Tech head coach. Love her. She's wonderful. I like her a lot.
Yeah,
and you know what? Her team's swinging it right now.
Yeah, they are swinging it. She's the one that introduced me to Buc-ee's.
What?
Yeah, remember? I had never been to Buc-ee's. Like, I know I was going to get into that, but you know, I actually got Kenny to jump on here sooner. So
I feel bad. Okay, well, you know, we're going to have Coach Morales back on.
Yeah.
And we're going to only talk about Buc-ee's.
Yes. No, we're just going to do full podcast on Buc-ee's. I'm in.
Just a full
maybe they'll sponsor our Buc-ee's podcast.
Yeah. Hey, beaver nuggets, like tidbits about a weekend. I don't know.
Those tri-tip sandwiches. Whew.
Ooh, let's get some of those like beaver chips. Let's get some of the beef jerky. Their coffee is good. I don't know. Maybe we can ask our next guest what he enjoys about Buc-ee's. As you're exactly right. We did get Coach Kenny Gajewski to join us a little bit earlier than Tara accidentally told him to come on the show. The head coach for the Oklahoma State Cowgirls is with us now on Good Morning Softball America, presented by GoRout. Kenny Gajewski. Hi, Coach. Good to see you. Do you have any favorite Buc-ee's items that you would like to shout out on the pod here this morning?
I've got a bunch. Yeah. We you know, one of the only cool things about being a head coach is you get to decide where the bus stops, right? So when we're going south, the bus is going to stop at Buc-ee's, and I think our whole team enjoys that. So I'll tell you a funny story about that place. One year, I think we were either coming back from Austin or Waco, and we had Miranda Ellis on our team, and it was cold. My wife was actually on the bus, and she was on that trip. And so we were coming back, and it was a cold night. We get in there. I told the team, I said, hey, let's try to make it quick because it can turn into a long trip in there. So I get back on our bus, and I could tell that something was weird. I didn't know what was weird, but I could tell our team was kind of acting weird. Miranda Ellis had bought a Buc-ee's bathing suit and decided to wear it from the bathroom out to the bus. And there's a video of me and my face. It was a classic. So I'm kind of scarred. But that is her completely. She's all about shock value, and she got it without a doubt. So
it's so funny, Kenny, because I always walk in there and I think, who's gonna buy one of these?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Now I have the answer.
These kids have some money, you know what I mean, in their pockets. So they're walking on out, and they buy all kinds of stuff. So it's kind of fun.
Oh my goodness. That just made my day. Oh my goodness. Well, I want to talk about this weekend, but first I want to talk about the crowd and the record-breaking crowd. I've been out in the corral. I think that it's one of the best places to watch a game in the country. I love it out there. The fans showed up this weekend. I loved your interaction on social media, encouraging people to show up, even if it was sold out. But can you describe what that atmosphere was like, especially obviously against Nebraska, having a top 10 team in there? What was that atmosphere like?
Yeah, it was awesome. We, we doubled the size of the deck. So now it's even bigger than when the last time that you were here. Hi, buddy. So we had that, and here's Gray. Here's our Gray. So
Gray.
Just got back from school. Hi. Can you say, oh, hi? Can you say hi, everybody? Can you say
Gray.
Hi, Softball America?
Gray, meet Gray. It? You know his name is Gray too?
His name is Gray. Can you say hi, Gray?
Hi, Gray. Hi, Gray. Didn't he just have a birthday this weekend too?
He just turned 2. He had a big week, so he turned 2. Can you give them an OSU? No. Oh. Come on.
Just like
oh. Is you.
Rabbit.
Hi, bye. Okay. So anyways, see, we can do it all here.
Yes.
No, the deck. So we doubled the size of the deck. And I think you're going to see it completely double in size by next year. We're getting so much value out of that, and we've got to find a way here to get more people here. We've got a waiting list. We've got lines outside. people who can't get in. It's very frustrating. So we're doing our best. It takes a little bit of an investment, and that's an area that we can make it happen. So I'm just really happy that we're able to make it happen. The people out there were just awesome. Our students, we challenged our students. We bought some pizza the first Thursday night. That deck was jam packed. I mean, it was 10 deep. It was so cool to see. So we're getting there, and we're breaking some records, and we could keep breaking them if we had more seats. So it's really cool. I think what we've done is we've built the model, right? Supply and demand. And I'm kind of tired of that. We need to have more seats so we can get more people there, because I think what we've done is we've also encouraged the other way by people knowing that we're sold out. They don't even want to come and try. And I get that, but I've just trying to change that. Hey, just show up. We're not going to turn you away. And the more people we get to show up like that, it forces the hand of our department, and they want that. So it's all good. It's not like I'm trying to throw rocks here in a glass house.
Well, and everybody in attendance, they were treated to just 2 phenomenal games, specifically with Nebraska. The first one on Thursday, 2-1 in 11 innings. And it was the grittiness of your team that stuck out the most to me, getting the run in the 7th to force extras, and then getting the walk-off from Rosie Davis. Especially when you put it in comparison to the way that you've started this season, going on the road and going out west in week 1 and going to Clearwater week 2. What have you liked about the grittiness overall that you've seen from your team here 1 month in that kind of really came together on Thursday night against Nebraska?
Well, I can tell you that I've been very careful on how I've talked about this club. And I've been in love with these guys since early in the fall. They just have come together fast. We kind of challenged them. I told them I'm going to go back to some things that we did early on in my time here. It's going to feel hard at times. I just need you to trust me that we're going to do the right thing. We're not going to hurt you. But we're doing it for the right reasons. I felt like I've gotten a little bit, softer in my time, maybe, if that's the right word. I feel like I think it's documented well that I think I really let this program down last year in the way I treated that team. I think I gave them way too much and didn't make them earn what they needed to earn. And so I went back at the end of our year. I knew it was too late during our year last year. I knew at Arkansas, there was a glimmer of hope for us. We had Arkansas down, and then we fell apart, and it fell on me. And I felt that, I felt that weight. So the only way I know how to respond is to evaluate yourself and staff and everything that you're doing. And let's make a change. And so we've done that. I'm sure that Carly and Rosie were looking around at times when the freshmen were going, what are we doing right now? I think they were going, I'm not sure, but just keep going. One of those things. And they did that. And these freshmen, they're special. That's the one part I've said, hey, this has a chance to be a special group. But I'm going to make them earn that. I'm not going to anoint them. And so I didn't know what we were going to get when we went out west. I can tell you we had everything going against us at Stanford and played well, just didn't play well enough. And then we went to Clearwater with a lot of people, I think on the outside, probably doubting us and our schedule. And I think we handled that very well. We grew, we had some young kids that stepped up. And to be honest, our big boppers, except for Hassler, they were just okay the first couple of weekends, and they've kind of gotten hotter as we've gone along. So we were doing that with a lot of young kids. We hadn't pitched well yet, and we still went out there and did some really good things. We scored and did some things, played great defense. And I just kept watching this. We just keep watching this team grow and come together. And it's not perfect. It won't be yet. But it's really cool. It's really cool to watch them grow. It's been really cool to watch them, this challenging schedule. I think I have a better idea of who we are now. We've still got a lot of growth, but we still have room to grow. We're not out of room. We've got a lot of room that we can grow. And if we can get Carly Godwin going the way we think she can and get Hassler going a little bit more, we're got a chance to be really good. And I mean, really good.
Yeah. And I know Gray and we get questions all the time about Oklahoma State on here. And, even earlier in the season, I think there were a lot of question marks. And then you take a look at this past weekend and you see all of that hard work that you put in the fall and all the hard work that you put in getting ready for conference play. So for you, you've been doing this a good amount of time. I won't say really long time, but you've been doing this a while. You said you love this team. Can you describe what that means? Like, why do you love this team? And when you're sitting as you get into conference play, what do you want to see from them as well?
Well, I can tell you one story why. And I heard it this morning. I didn't witness it, but I heard it from one of my staff. We were talking about our team this morning, and it's kind of Mondays are kind of they're a off day, but they're really around here. There's not a lot of off days. Like these kids are in and out of here nonstop doing their thing and checking in and doing the things that we love. And I heard that Carly had come in and was kind of pouty after an at bat, and JL Austin said, "Hey, get involved in this cheer." And Carly said, "I got you." And when you have freshmen that are empowered to go to a kid like that and say, "Hey, get involved here," and that older kid to say, "I got you," that's all I need to know. That's why I love this group. That's what we've tried to get back to, that there's nobody's above anyone here. It's just a standard. Everybody meets the standard. And anybody can enforce the standard. And then when your teammates have the guts to call you up, you need to have the respect to say, "I got you." You know what I mean? And so that's where we're at. And that's the things that I love. We've had no complaining. We're not practicing in shorts, and I've told stories like, "Hey, when we go to the weight room, we're wearing the same thing. There's no excuses. If you don't have the right socks on, Chance is going to send you home." It's little things like that this team is they've just embraced. And we talk about the cowgirl way, and they're doing that. It's not perfect. It still needs to improve, but they're working on it, and they're taking the things that we're coaching them on, and they're putting them into a play. And that's the kind of stuff that I love. You know what I mean? And if they're fighting us, it's good fight. You know what I mean? It's like discussion and that kind of stuff. And so when we can do that, that tells me that we're really healthy and that we're on the right path. And most importantly, we have the right kids here. And it takes a special kid here. This place isn't for everyone. I mean, it's just not. And it's every school has got those things, right? So our job is to find the right kids that fit this coaching staff, Oklahoma State. And I think we have a pretty good foundation of those kids here.
Last thing for me, Coach, before we let you go, and unless Tara's got one more thing, I want to ask about pitching. Ruby Malin has, gone through, I feel like, it all in her career, starting at Washington and kind of going through the ups and downs of last season. This year, she's delivering the winning pitches. Riley Crandall has stepped up big time. Her stats look a lot better here this year. And even though the numbers might not overall be the flashiest things in the world ERA-wise, they're both making winning pitches in these big games. What have you liked about the way that those two have played off of each other in the circle and really combined to lead the way for you pitching-wise here this year?
Yeah, I was going to tell you, don't look at ERAs because they don't tell the real story. They got their butts kicked the first couple weekends. We were able to score enough to kind of pick those guys up. I'm going to tell you right now, Ruby's stuff is as good as anybody in the country right now. And I tell you that because she's developed. Now, when it's middle, it's average. But when it's dotted up on the corners and in the river, it's unhittable. It's down, it's up. There's a change up now. There's a low rise. There's a high rise. She's throwing a fastball hard. That's kind of turned into her hard pitch. But I'm telling you, it's like the last 2 weekends, it's been like best I've ever seen here at OSU, best I've ever seen. And in Clearwater, there were moments where it was unhittable. And then there were flashes of middle and it got tagged. And so it was an easy thing to show her, like, it's execution. That's all it is. It's not your stuff. Your stuff is unhittable. But when it's plated, these hitters and these coaches and these programs are too good. There's too much on you to plate balls. Now, you can plate balls if 80% of your other pitches are dotted up in the river and on the black. That's when good pitchers can get away with the misses, because they're just happen every so often. It shocks you if you're a good hitter. But Nebraska, I mean, when her and Jordy were dialed in and Jensen were dialed in, and nobody was hitting anybody. I mean, I'm just telling you, it was that good. And when they didn't, they got hit. I mean, Rosie hit a pitch that was over the plate and up, and it was tagged. But when Jensen was throwing balls that were, hitting corners and up and down and in and out, I mean, it was tough. I mean, I was really impressed by their staff. I thought Rhonda called good game. It was fun. And so our kids, Crandall is much improved, healthy. And when she's doing her deal, it's just, we can score enough now too. We can score. And so she can keep us in those games and gives Ruby a real chance to get a break.
I do have one more question, because I want to make sure that we get to this, because Brady also wants to know as well. Claire Tim, I want to ask about Claire Tim, and she's second in RBIs, runs batted in, behind Hassler this year. Can you just really go through kind of what her growth and what you're seeing from her as a pivotal part of this offense?
We call her the Slim Reaper. She's legit. Her biggest thing is just like her own mental fight in her own head. Like, she is as talented as anyone here. With the swing, it's beautiful. It just looks that it's got that length, that can catch up to a lot. Now, this weekend, she didn't swing at strikes and in her first at bat, and then they just kept getting her to chase. And so that was very hard on her. I think she struck out against them like 5 of 6 at bats. It was pretty gross. But she has the ability in her 4th year now to put that behind her, where before it would ruin her. I thought about moving her down. I'm like, why am I moving her down? She's hitting for something. She's driving in runs. It's a threat. If she will just swing at strikes, she's good. So she's made a couple of really nice plays in our outfield, threw a girl out, made a nice play over her head. She's just a really cool kid. She really is. She's quiet. She wants no attention. I made her do media this last week. And I told the media crew, I said, I guarantee her skin is crawling right now. She's not even in this room and her skin is crawling. So it's good for her, though. Her personality is really coming out. She's a West Coast kid, played for Marty Tyson and the Angels. So that she's prepared mentally. And she's just doing extra work like she always has in the weight room. She's strong. She's a woman, you know what I mean? And she's got some home runs. She's driven some balls. We played at Texas State the 3rd weekend, and we'd have 15 more home runs if we were playing here. I'm just telling you, the wind was howling in, and we hit so many balls. They have a really weird park in the right center field and left center field. It goes crazy deep, and we pounded balls off their wall straight into the wind. And she had about 3 or 4, and had that great weekend. So she's got all the talent. I'm excited about her. Hopefully she can keep it up. It's been fun to watch her.
Awesome. Kenny Gajewski joining us on Good Morning Softball America. The Cowgirls of Oklahoma State start conference play this weekend, hosting UCF, and there's a midweek with Missouri State coming up, I believe tomorrow, right, Coach? So
we play Missouri State Wednesday. We got some weather that's coming in, so I'm getting ready to talk to those guys, and then UCF. So that'll be all we want. We know that they're really good and can really pitch and do some good things. So it'll take all we've got. So
Love it. Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us. It was great to meet Gray as well.
Yeah,
I hope you had a good second birthday.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for what you guys do. And thanks for having us on your great show.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Coach.
Kenny.
All right, guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
That was
He's
awesome.
The best. Oh, I'm so happy Gray jumped on there.
I know. We're going to clip that. That's going on socials.
I think Rachel, his wife, was there. So hi, Rachel, if it was her. Even if she wasn't. Hey, Rachel. How cute. I love it. So good. Really always good stuff from Kenny. Always so honest and thoughtful. And, I think they're in a really good spot right now.
Yeah, I think he's exactly right. First of all, about the avoid the ERAs with Ruby and Riley, because as I was putting together the rundown, I was like, this can't be right. I mean, based on what we've seen 4 weeks in, 3 weeks in, a month in, no, there's no way their team ERA is at 3.16. That doesn't make any sense. But they're making the winning pitches. Sometimes winning softball is way more important than statistically good softball. And we've seen Oklahoma State, while the stats are kind of, if you put them up against everybody else in the country, you're okay, that batting average is a little low. Okay, that ERA is a little high. They're making the winning plays. They're winning the big games. And that's why they're still getting a lot of buzz. That's why they're top 15 in our new Softball America top 25. And that's why when the RPI eventually comes out, they'll probably be in a pretty good day one position.
Yeah. Well, and then this is the thing. And I think this is important, obviously, for everybody and softball fans that look at numbers. Sometimes the numbers don't always tell the whole story. So I think that's a huge part of why I'm so proud of our staff and Gray and Brady and Jason. I just think if you watch games, you're going to see more of what is actually happening in the story than just looking at a box score. So I agree. I think sometimes we get really hooked on these numbers, especially with, All-American awards and taking a look at what those look like and padding stats and, playing teams that maybe having a higher strength of schedule. Or lower strength of schedule, but it's really important that you take a look at the whole picture. And I think that's just a good thing in general.
Can I tell you a little story about Gray and Nicole's weekend?
Yeah.
Okay. So we would come back every day after calling a couple games and we would go, all right, what are we watching? And Friday night we sat in that living room and watched about 6 or 7, went back and watched 6 or 7 softball games for about 20, 30 minutes, zooming through, going through, watching key plays. Saturday morning, I woke up at 7:30 and watched the end of Clemson, Georgia Southern, which was a chaotic mess. And then we watched softball all day Saturday and most of yesterday as well. And I will probably, at the end of this show, while I am boarding for baseball, start watching anything else I might have missed. That because it was a chaotic weekend and there was plenty to cover.
I mean, the whole series in Tennessee as well, Gray and Knoxville. I think when you're looking at App State was leading Tennessee for a good 4 innings. Mm-hmm. I think Penn State, Allison Oneacre, been really, really impressed with her. I think that whole series up there was great. I mean, Marist upsetting South Carolina. We had Louisville we talked about at the top of the show, take the series over Stanford at the end there. I mean, Stanford just looked really cold. I mean, literally physically cold. It looked really cold there.
What was going on last night in Louisville? Where did that come? They were it's 40 and the wind is howling in, and Nicole and I are outside playing pickleball in 70-degree weather. What's happening?
And then just using the entire pitching staff, and at the end of it, Louisville just a ton of fight from that program, and to come back at that point and get the series win, gritty win. And I think the ACC is almost wide open right now, Gray. I know we talked about this last week after Florida State.
There we go.
And Virginia Tech.
There we go.
We'll give them that. But after that, you never know.
And you know what? Georgia Southern loss aside, much better week for Clemson. This was by far the first week where I was like, all right, I'm starting to see it come together a little bit. Now, the collapse against Georgia Southern was just that, a collapse. You're up 7-3, nobody on 2 outs. That game should be done and dusted. It was not. But for the most part, I liked a lot of what I saw from Clemson this weekend, winning the midweek against Georgia, splitting with a good Mississippi State team, a really good Mississippi State pitching staff. And I think you can see Clemson starting to get back a little bit. Duke, not a good week. Not a good week. And we will see what the official RPI says. I've gotten some requests for the unofficial RPI, but we might save that discussion for a later time because we've already gone over an hour. Yeah, we will be answering a lot of questions on the Wednesday show. I just have two more things to say. One, I saw while we were talking to Coach Morales and the beginning of the Kenny Gajewski, interview, a lot of discussion about strength of schedule. And I read a lot of opinions. And I just want to say, once the metrics come out and we have literal statistical data ranking the strength of schedule, no one is allowed to complain because you can't argue with math. So I saw a lot of people like, oh, Florida hasn't played anybody. Well, Florida's strength of schedule is probably going to be top 25. And you look at the unofficial data, Alabama and Oklahoma are pretty much the same. So all of this is going to be revealed very soon. And once the numbers are out there, if you're like, that's dumb, blank hadn't played anybody, well, when we present math, you can't argue with it because that is math. And we don't argue with math on this show. We believe the numbers.
Tell us how you really feel, Gray.
Well, I just hate it. It's like, oh, somebody hadn't played anybody. Well, maybe they just haven't played somebody that you think is good. But maybe that team is actually high quality. I don't think people understand how much Marshall and Florida International are really helping Florida's strength of schedule. Georgia Tech helping Florida and Alabama's strength of schedule. Like a lot of teams, a lot of people, I should say, don't really understand what they're talking about when they say blank hasn't played somebody, because they're thinking, well, this team hasn't played like the 5 teams I'm aware of that are good. And there are just a lot of teams across college softball that are high quality and deserve the respect from all the fans out there. That's all I have to say.
I have an idea. How about when the RPI comes out, maybe we can do a quick show. Okay. Or we can just do it on Wednesday.
If it's in like the next hour, I'm good. I'll pop back on and do something.
Okay. So you guys, if the RPI does whenever it gets released, we'll hop back on here if it's today. If not, we'll go over it on Wednesday. And yes, Belmont goes to Tennessee tomorrow.
That was my second thing.
Update? Yes. Okay. Mine too. It's right here. Yeah,
Carlin Pickens, Maya Johnson. Don't mess this up, guys. That is what the people want.
I know. I'm supposed to be heading up there, so we'll see if I can make it. I'm gonna try and get up there to watch that game tomorrow.
So yeah, that's all I had. Hey, Tara, what's on the site right now that people should check out?
Oh, I mean, obviously our top 25 rankings have just dropped, and if you've got any,
where's Notre Dame? I'm just kidding. Sorry. Go ahead.
And now the pitcher and catcher rankings are up on the site. So again, we've got our top 25, our mid-major power rankings, our pitcher rankings, and our catcher rankings are now on the site. Let us know what you think. And those power rankings will be published every month. So that's just rounding out the month of February. So head on over there. And also we've got some high school top 25 rankings as well, and some top player rankings for high school. So 10 junior high school program pitchers who will dominate the circle from Andy Villamarzo, which I love about the On3 site. I don't know if you guys understand what's happening. We are so lucky to be on the platform, and it just continues to grow, the site On3. And we get so much support from them. And I just can't thank the On3 staff and everybody for like literally wrapping their arms around us and saying, hey, what do you guys need? How can we make this better? So there's going to be some really cool updates that are going to happen on the high school and youth ranking side. And we're really going to try our best to make this platform the best for experience for the players, the parents, the coaches, the college coaches. And as soon as I have the full details, I'll release them. But I'm really excited, and I'm happy that you guys are all here to share this with us. And I know I speak for the staff and hopefully for Gray, and know that we appreciate you guys so much. And there's so much that we can do, more that we can do, but we wouldn't be able to do it without each and every one of you. So Thank you to On3. Thank you to you, Gray. Thank you to everybody that's here. Let's just continue to grow the sport because it's just I think it's the most beautiful sport in the world. I know soccer tries to take that, but for me, softball is the best sport.
Wow, not even letting the European side of you take over. Still softball. I love it.
I know. Well, I know my market here, Gray. I can't say
That's
football.
True.
I know my market.
It's softball America, and we play college football on this side of the pond, not college American football. Okay, just making that clear. Hey, one question I want to say before we go, or I want to answer. Shelty asks, is the RPI through Warren Nolan? No. Warren Nolan, if you look at the website, they've done like a new thing with college baseball and with basketball going on. They're really focused on those sports. So their website said like they're not doing anything softball related for a couple months. So don't be checking the RPI and Warren Nolan. That will not be where you get it. NCAA.com, go to rankings, go to RPI. I believe it's the 4th of 4 tabs available. It'll be on there as well. So that is the place to check out the RPI, and I will be constantly refreshing until the NCAA gives us what we want.
Yeah.
Stop holding the RPI hostage.
Yeah, I don't
Show
understand.
us the metrics.
I mean, how does baseball have it and we're a week ahead? Is there do you think there's a good reason?
I don't know. I'm going to refresh it again. Let's see real quick. Maybe. Just because if it's up, then all of a sudden we have 20 more minutes of show. If it's not, then our day is done. It's not. Okay. So.
Yep.
All right. NCAA. We're waiting. We'll do another show later today if the RPI comes out eventually. If it comes out tomorrow, then psych, we'll do it on Wednesday because I have baseball. So subscribe, share, check all the stuff. Tara, any final thoughts before we go?
No, I can't wait for SEC play to start this weekend. We'll go over it on Wednesday. And then Tennessee, Belmont, make sure you guys watch that game. And if there's anything else that you guys are watching, please let us know. Please, honestly, just, if we need to do something better or if we can provide better coverage, please let us know.
Yeah, I've got injury updates and SEC play on the Post-it note for Wednesday. Otherwise, it will be all about your questions. So make sure you're in the chat on Wednesday. We'll be going at 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern. We will answer anything that you ask. Just ask it. And we will hopefully have an RPI update later today, if not on Wednesday. Thank you to Kenny Gajewski. Thank you to Aileen Morales for joining the show. Thank you to the wonderful, stunning, delightful Tara Henry. Thank you to our friends at GoRout, the presenting sponsor of Good Morning Softball America. And thank you to you, viewers, listeners, people in the chat. We appreciate you very, very much. For Tara, I'm Gray. Let's cue the music. Thanks for hanging out with us on Good Morning Softball America. We'll see you Wednesday with the Q&A show, or maybe later today if the NCAA releases the RPI. We'll see. We're waiting.